In this season, those who I want to have call right now are those who got a business idea. You already got the name of the business. You already can see it. You already can figure out in your mind how it's going to operate, how it's going to function. You already know who in your family you can't hire. Y'all ain't talking back to me. You got a business idea. God says, I want you to sow a seed on behalf of the business that hasn't started yet. See, some of you all don't believe in that kind of step out on faith. 7 years ago, Jan, I was out working for the NAACP as the National Youth and College Director, and the Lord put on my spirit to open a church. I only had $5,000 in my savings account. I was engaged, getting ready to get married, and the Lord told me to start a church. I said, Lord, all I got is $5,000. He said, sow everything. I didn't have a church to go to. I didn't have any building, but I rented out a nightclub. I rented out a discotheque, so I had to go in to the disco early Sunday morning and clean out beer cans and condoms and cigarettes and wrappers of weed. But I said, God, if you gave it to me, I got to do it. He said, sow the whole $5,000. I sold the $5,000, and within 3 months, I had to move out of the nightclub. I went from a nightclub to a college, from a college to a high school, from a high school to our own building. And in 7 years, I went from 40 members to 11,000 members, because I know that if you follow what God tells you, God will turn it around. I don't want you to hate. I want you to celebrate, because if God did it for me, he'll do it for your business. He'll do it for your ministry, but you got to have the faith to sow. When I started, I had one camera on a tripod. And I announced to my church, the Lord gave me a vision. I'm going to be on international television. And I was on access cable with one camera with 40 people. And preachers all over this town that I lived in was laughing at me, saying I wasn't going to be anything, wasn't going to go anywhere. But tonight I'm on TBN and they at home watching me. Because of y'all ain't talking back to me. Because if you trust God, God will do something where your enemies have to watch you get blessed. Yes. Be seated. Every person who's got an entrepreneurial idea, sow a seed. Every person who's getting ready to start a ministry, sow a seed. Any person whose ministry you're frustrated because it's not going to the next level. You got visions that don't match your reality. Sow a seed. God can do exceedingly abundantly beyond what you can think, dream, or imagine. After this, that they drove nails in his hands, they then got a 12-inch spike and drove it through his feet. This is where they made a catastrophic mistake. Because when they drove the nails through his feet, they didn't understand they were leaving a trail. So wherever he walked, there would be footprints of the blood of Jesus. Can I say to you, when you look back over your life, you ought to see some bloody footprints. There's some stuff that you survived and you walked out of it, and to this day you don't even know how you were able to walk out of it without one bone broken in your body. It's only because you can see the bloody footprints. So there's a foot trail all the way up Golgotha where you can see where Jesus stepped in your life. I was in London last week preaching for a praise and prophetic conference for Bishop John Francis. And we were in, Donnie, where you did your live recording in London a few years ago. We were in that symphony hall, and people were lined up around the walls. And worship went to a Star Trek level. No place where church had ever gone before. It was absolutely in the third heaven, in the third realm. And after church was over, I was in the lobby. I was in the lobby of that great symphony hall, signing books. And we got to the end of the line. I'd been out there almost 45 minutes to an hour signing books. I'm ready to go back to my room. I'm tired. Jet lag has caught up with me. And there are 3 people left in the line. And I said, all right, let me do these 3. And then I'm going on back to my room. I got to the second to the the last person in the line. I got the book open and I'm tired. And I just asked her, what's your name? So I can sign it in this book and I can go lay down. What is your name? And she looked me, Pastor Munzie, in the eye and said, my name is Evidence. So I said, no, I'm asking you, what's the name on your birth certificate? Not your nickname, not your line name. What is your name on your driver's license? She said, my name is Evidence. I said, I never met nobody named Evidence before. I said, how in the world did your parents name you Evidence? She said, my parents named me Evidence because for 12 years they were trying to have a child and couldn't. But when I was conceived and born, they named me Evidence so that any person who ever asked me my name will know I'm the evidence of prayer working. Can I tell you that anybody in here who ever had a prayer answered, your name ought to be Evidence. You are the evidence that they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. You are the evidence he may not come when you want him to come. You are the evidence. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy is coming. He said, my name is Evidence. Now, I know y'all are saved. I know you absolutely love the Lord. You're devout worshipers. I am too, but I still watch regular television sometimes. And one of the shows that I watch is CSI. And I found this out about evidence in watching CSI is you can't just handle evidence. To deal with evidence, you got to put gloves on first so that evidence is not contaminated. How can I tell you that the Lord is putting a hedge fence of protection around you? So some stuff that should have happened to you will not happen to you because you're too valuable as evidence. Not only do they have to put on gloves first, watch this, they then have to put you in a sealed container so that nothing can get to it. Can I tell you that you've got generational diseases that run in your family, but cancer will not get in you because there is a container that God has put you in. Everybody in your family is broken, frustrated, and unhappy, but you're able to say the joy of the Lord is my strength, and the strength of the Lord is my joy, because he put me in a container. Stuff that used to upset you 5 years ago no longer affects you. Now when folk talking about you, it don't even matter. You'll speak right back to them. Hey, how you doing? How your mama doing? How everybody in your family doing? Because nothing you say will stop me. Last thing I like about evidence is after they pick it up, put it in the sealed container, they take it back to the lab. Take it back to headquarters. This is important. Watch this. Take it back to headquarters and lift fingerprints. Come on. All right. They lift fingerprints so any person who ever touched it can be traced. Oh, y'all. Any person that did you dirty, any person that left you for dead, any person that touched you inappropriately, God said you ain't even got to do nothing because I got their fingerprint, and they messed up when they touched you because you are an anointed vessel of God. I ain't got to track nobody down. I ain't got to get nobody straight. I ain't got to grab nobody by the collar. If you hold your peace and let the Lord fight your battles, he'll lift the fingerprints.